Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too, welcome back to channel. Today, I'm joined by the great Meads Meister himself. G'day, Dazza, how you going, mate?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you very much.
What a wonderful thing to have you on board, mate. Good to be here. Good to have you in the studio today. Obviously, I flew him in especially from the UK just for this video. I got you.
You did.
Yeah, no expenses spared here at the HQ. Now, you've been doing really, really well on YouTube lately. If you haven't already, guys, you should go and subscribe to Meadsy's channel. That's Meadsy69.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right, mate. You know, that's all good. And there's a big reason why I got Meadsy on today, because if you go and have a sneaky, cheeky peek at the Meadsy69 from the GNA clan on EU, you will find that his most played tank is the FV215B 183. Is that correct? Can you confirm or deny?
That is 100% correct, yes.
So you're the person who's to blame, basically.
Yes.
Now, Meadsy, there's got to be something alluring about this vehicle, and I've had a lot of people ask me lately to do a video on this tank.
Yep.
The big thing is, for all that it is one of the most played tanks in the game, it doesn't do that well in terms of win rate, does it?
No, I've just checked. I think the last 30 or 90 days is like 49% win rate currently.
Yeah. And I have the same issue with the tank. You can put out big numbers.
Yeah.
But it really does suck.
It does. It does. And that's the best thing about the tank. It's people just used to farm damage. They didn't care about win rate. It's a damage farmer. That is basically all that tank was.
Now, I had for the longest time a big issue with the tank, and it wasn't because of the tank itself. It was a really weird one. I found that it did create a very fearful gameplay style at tier 10, because
of course, yeah,
people, even though the tank doesn't seem to win as much as you'd think it would, considering how popular it is, and even in the hands of a very skilled player like yourself, and I mean, I don't think we're letting anyone know, but you got a good win rate and you have good numbers, damn good run numbers,
yep.
not like my rookie numbers, but it it created an intimidation factor on the battlefield, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yeah, completely.
So it's really struggled since the patch as well. Where do you see this tank? Where do you see its place in the battlefield at the moment?
At the moment, it's hard. Before it got nerfed, it was I used to just play it just for fun. Like, I loved the tank. It was never my favorite tank. It was just the fun factor of doing 1500 damage. So I think my last video on the Deathstar was on dead rail, sat at the back, and I didn't get spotted the whole game, and I've done 7k damage.
What a huge surprise!
And it done 7k damage like without getting spotted. And it's now, I just think they've nerfed it too much now. They've just took too much away, which is a good thing because they're not feared as much now as they was before.
Yeah, it's a funny tank for this. I really got up in arms about it, and I had a lot of chats with people from Wargaming, and I really pushed the boat to try and get it nerfed. And yet the numbers historically have never been that great. I wonder if now it's just gone too far, and it's so ineffective that when you still get a lot of them in battles, but when you get like two on the other team, they don't seem to. It's a really good situation you can take advantage of. Yeah.
Before it got nerfed, I think the Deathstar was one of my most replays. The people that would send me, but now I think I've probably, since the patch, I've probably had about 3 Deathstar replays that are 7k. Yeah. No more than that.
Yeah, I agree.
I definitely think they did nerf it too much. I think the camo value now is just shocking.
It's horrible.
I didn't think they needed to touch the accuracy. If there's gonna touch the camo value, then I don't think they needed to touch the accuracy as well.
Yeah.
But before the camo was broke, it was completely broke.
Yeah, it was. It was very easy to take advantage of that. Why do you think there's why do you think it performs so badly? Because what is the big thing that changes the way this tank, why it sucks basically so much, because the numbers on it are incontrovertible. Like, you look at it, the win rate is always low, the average damage is always high, and it's been that way for years, ever since it was introduced. Why do you think it drags down so hard at tier 10?
The damage wise, it's always going to be big damage. All you need is 2 hesh shots, and that's 3k damage.
Yeah, crazy.
2 hesh shots, and you've got 3, if not more, a little bit more. But sometimes that is, you could have 1 hesh shot, and now you're spotted, and that's it. You're wrecked. As soon as people realise that you've shot, you just get rushed, and that's it. That you get 1 shot off, and that is all you're going to do.
You make a great point there, because it is now, like, people understand what tank needs to fall over, don't they?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, that. I
mean,
tank,
I've never been feared of a Deathstar ever, even in a Leopard 1.
Yeah.
You just got to change the way you play. If there's a Deathstar on the enemy team and you're in something like a Leopard 1, you just don't expose yourself to where Deathstars could potentially be. I've never really feared Deathstars.
On the North American servers, that was always like, you get someone come in on a Deathstar thread and said, "Don't get spotted." Like, if you're spotted, it's your fault. But you're gonna get spotted in the game unless you're sitting in base.
Yep.
The thing I also find very interesting is it does seem to attract, and I don't want to be rude about this, but lower win rate percentage players. They seem to rush forward to get that tank.
Because they want the damage. They want the damage.
Yeah.
And they think that they can just get in a Deathstar and do damage. It's not quite like that now.
Yep.
Because they can't just sit at the back of the map now.
If you were talking to someone who was starting off at tier 1 and they wanted to get to the Deathstar, what would you talk to them about? Like, what would you say the most important factors are for trying to play the tank?
I definitely wouldn't go, like, you've got certain positions for TDs.
Yeah.
Say like dead rail.
Yeah.
You've got that position right at the back.
Yeah.
The more people that start playing it, people now know that position. It's just there. So the one thing I would do is go, like, when I'm in the Deathstar, I never play it now like a TD. I go with like mediums or something like that, because it scares you. You go into the medium route, and then a medium shows up and there's a Deathstar with an object 140, you're going to get scared.
Yep.
So you got to try and not be predictable. Definitely not be, because as I've said, if you can potentially just get 1 shot off, and that is your game finished. Fair enough, that 1 shot might be 1500 damage, and sometimes nowadays the player base, that's double someone's average damage.
It is, which is terrifying, but that's very true.
So definitely try not to be predictable. Don't go into these positions where all the TDs go every single battle, especially in a Deathstar.
A lot.
Because they will focus you. If there's 3 TDs sitting at the back and you're all spotted, you're the one that's going to get shot.
What about a map like, Oasis Palms is another one where it's a classic Deathstar map, where the Deathstar will often do 0 damage, just sitting at the back of the entire map waiting for a shot that
just
never
waiting.
comes.
Again, with something like that, I'd normally go maybe middle, like towards the cap.
Yep.
And sometimes play aggressive, because people don't expect a Deathstar to play aggressive. And that's what you got to do in the tank. Like, sometimes you have to be aggressive. Instead of just sitting at the back and doing sometimes nothing. I mean, sometimes you can sit at the back and do 8,000 damage.
Yeah.
The next game you can sit in exactly the same position and do 0.
Yeah, I think too, if we look at the nerfs that Wargaming have made to the tank, they're encouraging that playstyle with it.
Yeah. Of course they are.
Yeah.
Like I said, I do think that they nerfed the camo too much, but only because I loved it. I loved it because it was just fun dishing out 6k damage on a regular basis.
I do that on streams. People, I made a rod for my own back, but then I'd turn around and say, that's fine, I'll play the Deathstar. And I did it maybe 5 times, and 4 of the 5 times I went out and just got 4 or 5k straight away, bang.
Yep.
But you play it for a period of time, and you start having those 0 damage games where it just...
Of course, yeah. The Deathstar is the tank I've got 0 damage in the most.
Yeah, and it sucks, man.
Definitely.
It burns the heart.
You get rushed by 2 mediums and you miss your shot.
Yeah.
That's it. You're
Game
gone.
over. It's an interesting one. How do you feel in relation to the FV4005? Because that thing seems broken as hell to me.
It does, but I don't think the tank itself's broke. I just think it's the consumables. I think speed boost definitely is just for that tank insane.
Yeah, agree.
And then the intraclip reload to give it a 2.1 second intraclip reload per shell is
crazy.
Is crazy. So I don't think it's the tank. You take away the consumables, I think the tank is just going to be average.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, man. I think you're absolutely spot on with that. There's no way around that. That's a very good point. And so if you had to pick between one British TD at the moment, you'd go the 4005?
Definitely.
Yeah. And have you been playing the Deathstar much lately at all?
Since it's been nerfed, I've probably played it 10 times. And I'm actually trying my hardest now to get a tank that's more battles than a Deathstar because I feel ashamed.
You filthy stat padder. I hope you can't sleep at night.
I can't. It does keep me awake at night, just knowing that that's my most played tank.
Yeah, Skate's got the same kind of issue. Let's check Skatey's numbers here.
I think it's his most played as well. He's trying it really hard on the Jaegeroo, I think, to overtake it.
Let's see Skate Extreme from the REQ clan. Let's see his most played tank. We're going to roll this one up here. All time, most battles. Filthy Animal, he's got 1,990 battles. Not as much as you, but he's
I've got 2,000, just over 2,000.
Wow, have you seen his numbers in it? He's got nearly 3k average damage with 60.35%. But even that, like, look at that. Even that, he's, in terms of win rate at tier 10, that's certainly not one of his highest. It's one of his lowest win rates at tier 10. Yeah.
What's he got? Win rate 60%, so yeah.
Yeah, he's got lots of like 61s and 71s and 63s and 63s, and there's a few under it, 64s for the pattern and that, but mostly they're and that seems to be the story with this tank. It's fun to play, and it must make wargaming a lot of money.
Oh yeah, definitely. When I first knew about the tank, when I first started, I actually played it on a different account. And I've done like 5k damage on my first ever battle. And because of that, I literally 3 XP'd the 80, the tier 6, the tier 7, the tier 8, and the tortoise just to get that. Because I was like, I want this.
They call this, I'm holding my wallet up right now, and they say this is the, this is what the Deathstar, its biggest, highest roll is. It brings these things out.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people don't want to drive the ATs.
I hated them back in the day. I think I had about 5 battles in the AT-15 and then about 5 battles in the Tortoise before I'd actually got the Deathstar. But going back to playing when I wanted to obviously ace all my tanks, I actually I did like them. I really like the tanks.
I agree. They are one of the most underrated vehicles, especially now that matchmaking went to +1, -1.
Yep.
When it was, when their armor wasn't good enough against tier 9s and such, that was tough. But +1, -1, they can, if you figure them out, you can post up on them and do massive numbers. They're great tanks.
Oh yeah, of course you can.
Yeah. So mate, that's wonderful. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Just a short one today, a bit of a catch up. Maybe we should do this more often. Just
we should.
Or just I know I've only got one camera. Otherwise, I know I flew you in and all that, but. We'll get Skate in here and yell at him as well. It's his fault too, this stuff. I mean, he's always...
It is.
He propagates bad things.
Blame Skate.
Yeah, blame Skate. Skate always finishes first. Okay. Thanks very much, Dazzy. You have a good one there, mate. Look after the family and stay safe out there.
No problem. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, mate. And remember, guys, if you haven't already, subscribe up to Meadsy69. Great bloke, good player, and loves a bacon and egg roll. I'll talk to you later, mate.